So we're just going to go for a little spin here on my lunch break, get out of the building for a little bit. This video is just going to be kind of random. I'm going to do one soon about all the components that we used in this build so far, and kind of run down why we chose those what parts we chose, why we chose them, how much did they cost, and kind of what we think of them if that's applicable. So current setup for today looks like we're about 75% ethanol. It's about 55 degrees out, 50, 55. Sport Sharp should be a target of 30 PSI. We typically end up running over that just a little bit. We'll end up around 31, maybe 31 and a half. Got the new Gen 7 Fortunato 500 series coilovers on here, and I'm still kind of getting used to how they drive. I've got it a little high in the back because the 265 tires were rubbing on the fender if I lowered it too much. So I'm going to get some adjustable camber lower control arms for the back, so we can bring it down a little more level with the front, and then get some oversized adjustable sway bars from like White Line for it as well. Overall, they have reduced body roll quite a bit. They make the steering feel nice, linear. The wider tires also help with that. They make a little bit of noise. They're apparently factory preload was set on the springs. I might have to double check them. I feel like the springs should have been a little bit tighter, but they were all marked as set at the factory. They don't clunk or anything, but you can hear them a little bit. The spring kind of move around on the perch. And the adjustability on them has been, I haven't played with it a whole lot. I started out at the middle setting. I think there's 24 clicks, so we had them just set to 12, front and back. And it rode pretty similar to my Eibach Sport lowering springs. So I turned them up 4 more clicks to the positive, and they were very stiff. So I backed the front down by 2, and the rear are back at 12. So seems to ride pretty good. Let that car get up there a little bit. We'll do a little pull here. It. Oh, locked out of third. Woo. She's quick. Hit 30 pounds of boost there. Got locked out of third gear trying to do a flat foot shift. Not sure what happened there. chimes in the comments talking about pushing 30 pounds through a stock motor. I know that is way beyond the recommended boost and power level in these things for a stock motor. So this dynoed out at 551 wheel horsepower and 560 torque, which is a ton of torque out of this. Frankly, way too much torque on a stock motor. Should have tried to stop around 400, but I'm loving the tune. This thing, when it gets into boost at about 4,000 RPMs, full boost around 4,500, it pulls like a freight train. And I'm already looking at bigger turbos, whether I'm trying to convince Forced Performance to build me a zero and I'll stay stock location. If not, I'll probably end up using an ETS rotated kit and just go with a 6466 turbo. That'll be plenty of power for what I'm trying to do with this car. But I'm already set up with this really good stock location FP green turbo. It's making plenty of sauce for me right now. The next step really is I'd like to be able to get some more RPMs out of this motor, but I know winding up a stock bottom end even higher, especially with the boost level that we're at, is asking for trouble. So debating whether or not to, since this motor has 8,000 miles on it, debating whether or not to just put forged pistons and rods in it, better head gaskets, and 280 cams and better valve springs, and call it good for now. I can do that for, I don't know, $3,500, maybe $4,000 with all the little parts, new bolts, head studs. If I did that, went that route, I would just use the standard head stud size, but I would use a really good ARP head stud. I think they're 11 millimeters. The other option, which really isn't that much more money, is keeping these heads what they are with the Inconol valves, put the 280 cams in them, and pick up an IAG 2.5 tough block, the closed deck, 700 horsepower rated motor, which I've never built a short block, so that might be the route I go. Also, I don't want to have the car down for an extended period of time, so purchasing an assembled warranted short block is appealing. If I did that, I would still keep this Type RA motor. I'd probably eventually send it in, have it closed deck, have it machined out for the 14 millimeter head studs. Maybe number 7 or 8, definitely not more than 8. I just did enough to log some and have my tuner, Tailored Tuning, check them out for me. And I took some coworkers for a ride, took my girlfriend for a ride. But I know every time I do a wide open throttle on this stock bottom end that we're playing with fire. So then again, I've seen Josh Type RA put down some seriously fast track times, or some really fast ETs with the FP Green and the FP Zero. There's somebody out there that's got a 6466 on a stock bottom end or a stock long block that's pushing, I think, 741. So it's definitely doable, and I take care of this. I normally don't drive it very hard. Like I said, I do have fun with it, but I called around to some of the drag strips here locally too, within about an hour and a half drive, and looks like they'll start opening up again around March, depending on the weather. So hopefully we can keep this thing alive through the summer and get some good track days in, see what we can put down on the track, on the ETs with in the quarter. Sorry, I can't talk today. But see what we can get for trap speeds in the quarter with this thing, with the FP Green. So far, I'm impressed with this turbo. And even though I'm craving more power, this thing is plenty fast enough to have fun, get yourself in trouble. And I would say it's faster than 99% of the cars you're going to come across. As Smedia would say on his channel, gonna hurt some feelings. And I'll plug his channel. Smedia was a big inspiration for me. I grew up in Washington State, and watching his channel is really good. He's very knowledgeable, and I like that he gets outside his comfort zone and is constantly trying to learn something. That SVX flat 6 he's putting together in a V8 chassis is very, very impressive. So anyways, I'll sign off for now. Stay tuned for another video where we go down the build list with all the components. I'll do a cost on all of that, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time.